George Geary of Driscoll's Berries makes 2 delicious desserts. Hi, welcome to Dierburgs Presents Everybody Cooks. I'm Barb Reidenauer, and tonight we have a great collection of summer recipes to share with you that are all in the June issue of the Everybody Cooks magazine. They're free, so be sure to pick up your copy at any Dierburgs. Our special guest tonight is George Geary, executive chef from Driscoll Berries, and George, we are delighted to have you at Dierburgs.
I'm so excited to be here.
This is great. George travels all over the world teaching people how to cook, and he was a former pastry chef for the Disney Corporation. He is the author of this wonderful book on cheesecakes, and tonight he has some desserts featuring berries. So tell us what we're going to make.
We're going to make a blueberry raspberry deep dish pie with a cornmeal crust. And let's get started on the cornmeal crust.
Sounds good.
We've got in a food processor, it's easier to use a food processor on this, all of our dry ingredients and our cold butter chopped up into small pieces.
Okay.
We're going to pulse it about 10 times. And it just chops it up a little bit in there.
Okay.
And then, and I always turn it, look and make sure everything's blended up enough.
All right.
And we're going to turn it on and add our whole milk till it forms a ball. And it just takes a minute. When it forms a ball, just like that, turn it off. See it?
An easy way to make pie crust.
Place it into 2 discs and put it in the refrigerator. I always say pat it down like that so it's easy to roll out and not into a ball.
Okay, that's a great tip. So
And
we'll set that aside to chill.
Place that to chill.
And you want to make the filling then.
Then we're going to use our Driscoll raspberries and blueberries.
Okay.
And we're going to just take a cornstarch and sugar mixture, blend it together, then zest a little lemon on top, and just get the oils from up above.
All right.
Place that into our berries. And I always say when you're purchasing berries, make sure you act like it's, there's a little, just like ice cream. You want to treat it like ice cream. Berries go right into the refrigerator when you get home. And just a single layer, and they'll last a long time for you, a couple more extra days.
That's a great idea.
And just like that. Then we're going to place this into our pie shell that is already rolled out for us.
Okay.
Here we have our filled pie crust.
Okay.
And when I roll out the pie crust, I have a little extra on the edges, just in case when I roll out the top crust, it cracks or breaks. I can turn it into a rustic pie by just pushing this over and baking it. So we're going to keep it just like that.
Give us some tips so that we won't have to do that.
So it won't happen.
Right.
We're going to take our flour. I always say, put enough flour so it doesn't stick. Your grandmother told you not to use that much flour, but guess what? She's not here.
No, she's not. So we want a crust to roll nicely?
Now, I do a plus and an X pattern, it's called. I use a French rolling pin without the handle so I don't get these lawnmower marks, I call it, in my crust.
Okay.
So roll it out once, and then towards me. So then I turn it only once. Make sure you have flour on the bottom, dead center, go out, dead center, towards you. So you've done this plus pattern.
Okay.
Now I'm going to do an X pattern. Out, 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 and out. So I pick up the rolling pin each time. If I feel that it's a little thick on one side, I'll go out, just to keep it as circular as possible. Check to see if it will fit. Yep,
it's great. Fit. It rolled really easily, too.
It is an easy rolling crust. Take your star tip or your star
cookie cutter.
I put a little flour so I know where the star is. Roll this up. See where the place that there.
Oh, makes
and
sense.
Unroll
there.
it, and there it'll hit the dead center.
Isn't that
Isn't
nice?
it?
Yes, very great.
We're going to pinch the 2 together against our pie pan. Now, because we are using a pie pan that doesn't really need fluting, we're just going to take our knife and go around it and press it in.
Okay. And if you had just a plain pie pan,
you could do
you just pinch it
fluting
together and
pinch it.
crimp it however.
Just like that.
Okay.
Okay. Pinch that together, and there, we'll bake that.
Doesn't that look great?
Yep.
Okay, let me show you what the baked pie looks like. Here it is, and isn't it beautiful?
And you can see the crust is a nice golden brown.
It really is. The cornmeal makes it a really pretty texture, and it tastes good with the berries. Add a little bit of vanilla ice cream, and it is to die for.
It's really nice.
It's very good. Okay, now we're going to combine raspberries and chocolate, two of my very favorites.
Mine too. Okay. Putting those two together.
Simple. So show us what to do with this.
This is really easy. I came up with this by having little desserts in the south of France. They have, with your coffee, they'll have cookies and little pastries and things like this. So what we do is we take heavy cream and chocolate and butter. We're going to make a ganache. Now, ganache is also the inside of truffles. So what we're doing is we're creating a nice hard texture inside of our soft berry. So when you bite into it, it's like an inside-outside chocolate candy.
Instead of dipping your filling.
Right.
Good idea.
So here's our chocolate. You can see it's nice and thick. It will get thicker once it cools down. So after you've blended this together, you can take and put it into a water bath to cool it down just a little bit more.
Okay. And we have some that we've already cooled down for you.
I'm going to put it into a little bag. Now, if you aren't familiar with a pastry bag, you can use a Ziploc bag. You cut one end and a little star tip. I'm doing this into our raspberries, our Driscoll raspberries. We don't wash the berries because washing the berries will create the walls of the berry to fall apart. So if you see a dirty berry, just take a little brush, kind of like a mushroom.
And is that true for all berries, or is that just for the raspberries?
Pretty much. So it extends the shelf life too. Water kills the berries.
So how long can you keep a berry?
Really depends when they were picked. But as long as, like I said before, treat it like ice cream. Take it right into the refrigerator when you get home and place it in to a cookie sheet. We're going to place a few on this tray, and this is what you'd have with coffee.
This is
in
my
the south
kind
of France. Just a few berries and some cookies.
Okay, and we found that these are not only good just by themselves, but we use them as a little garnish here. And
you can garnish it with the dessert.
This is a panna cotta recipe that you'll also find in the magazine. There's just a little hint of orange peel in this, and you add that berry with the chocolate and the raspberry. Oh, it's really very tasty.
I also like to take this and place it onto a chocolate cake. Each individual slice will have a raspberry.
So each
on
slice
top.
is garnished then?
Right.
That's a great idea.
Garnish it.
Well, George, thank you so much.
Thanks
These
so much
are
for having
wonderful
me.
recipes. You'll find all these recipes in the magazine along with a couple of other berry ideas, and I hope you'll enjoy making them for the summer.